One. Hey, hon, what you doing?
Just watching our new chickens.
Watching our new chickens, huh? Who's down there with you watching our chickens?
Me.
Hello, monkey boy.
Hey. My name's Daniel.
Yeah, your name's Daniel.
Yeah.
Not really monkey boy, huh?
Your son?
Yeah, you're my son, huh?
Yeah, and your son. No.
Okay, so Daniel, who we call Monkey Boy, and my beautiful bride are watching our new chickens. These are, how many chickens do we have, honey?
Five. Yeah, five.
How many, what are they? What's the ratio?
Four. We have 4 hens and we have 1 rooster.
Okay, 4 hens and 1 rooster. We just brought them home last night. Okay, so today is going to be their first full day in their new pen and their new environment. And I'm going to talk to you about some common backyard chicken mistakes to avoid. And we know this because of experience. Okay, so the biggest mistake we made with our first batch of chickens last year is that we spoiled them. Okay, we spoiled them in so many ways, mostly by feeding them every time we came outside. So what happened is when they saw us, they associated us with food. I mean, it's a Pavlov's dog effect. And so they would scream and scream and scream and cry and whine and harass us until we fed them. And it got so bad to where we couldn't come outside without being harassed by our chickens. But that was our fault, not theirs. So you want to make sure you get them on a proper feeding schedule. Feed them once in the morning, feed them once in the later afternoon or evening, and then stop. Don't feed them in the middle of the day like we did, or they will harass you nonstop. Okay, common backyard chicken mistake number 2 that we made. We made their space too big. What you see them in now is a sectioned off part of our original chicken pen. It's about 10 feet wide and it's about 12 feet deep. Now I want to point out, this is not inhumane in any way because this is merely where they sleep. They have a roosting spot up in here where they sleep, but during the day, we are going to let them have supervised free range capabilities by letting them out and letting them roam. Okay, we did this with our last chickens and it worked out really well. Okay, so don't think they don't have enough space. They have ample space and they're going to be mostly free range. Now, since we just brought them home last night and they're new, we're not going to let them out for about 3 days. We want them to know this is where they're supposed to come home to roost. Okay, they say they always come home to roost, it all comes home to roost. Well, not unless you let them get associated with their roosting spot. So if you brought home chickens for the first time, you're going to allow them to free range. Keep them pinned up where they're going to sleep for the first few days. Then when you let them out, start about an hour or 2 before dark the first time, and then when it's time to roost, watch as they come back and they know how to roost. Extend the amount of time you let them free range daily after that until you get to where you can pretty much let them out all day if you want, and they'll always come home to roost. Okay? This was our original chicken pen. We've sectioned that off and we now use this as what we call our lab. We've got trees growing from seed. We've got cuttings. There's apple tree cuttings back there. We've got saplings we find along our tree line that we transfer to pots. Here's a bunch of hickory trees we got last year that just sprouted up from nuts. This is their 2nd year of growth, and we actually have redbud seeds. The eastern redbud is one of the few trees that you can actually grow very well from seed. Now, what's this have to do with chickens and mistakes? This was our original chicken pen, and our original chickens roosted in the cement block, or the cement block house. Now, here was a mistake with that. Here's our back door. I mentioned to you, every time we came out, they would scream for food. They would pile up on top of each other right here and harass us anytime we came outside. And when the weather's nice, we like to eat meals out here. And there's Miss Cleopatra, who shows up for every video. So it got to where we couldn't come outside unless we wanted to be harassed. And you see my beautiful bride and our beautiful healthy son over there hanging out in a hammock. We couldn't lay in our hammock because they'd go harass us on that end. So by sectioning off that part of the pen, we keep them away from the house for visibility purposes. They don't harass us. They don't even know when we're out here. And then secondly, there was chicken poop everywhere, so we had a problem with flies. All right, common backyard chicken mistake number 3. And this kind of is part, I could call this 2B. You see the inside of this storage room? And there went a bird. I don't know if you saw her, but she's got a nest up here. It's a barn swallow. She's got eggs. They're getting ready to hatch. I'm not going to get too close, but she's got a beautiful nest up here. We kicked the chickens out. She moved in. But we need to scrub that down, and we will be repainting. But this is where our last flock roosted at night. But they had all this space. And what that, we spoiled them, guys. I'm telling you, we spoiled them. And the problem with this was, and this room is probably 15 feet wide and 20 to 25 feet deep. We had to clean this. So when we cleaned our chicken pen, it would take half a day.
The white chicken's laying an egg.
Huh?
The
What?
white chicken's laying the egg.
The white chicken's laying an egg? Okay, I'll be there to see it here in just a second. He just woke up. He's kind of sleepy still. But so my point here, guys, is that it was too much work for us. We had 11 chickens. One of them had a bunch of babies. We actually have a video of that on our channel. We had over 20 chickens there, but it took too much time to clean the space. So we greatly reduced the size of the space. Now this kept them safe from the foxes and the raccoons and the possums and the hawks and the owls. But this will do the same thing. Okay? So, and there's something else I want to point out. It looks like they're just drinking water there. We have about a bottle cap full of apple cider vinegar in that water. Okay, your chickens, there are mites that live in the dirt that will infest your chickens in both their legs, the skin on their legs, and within their feathers. These mites are everywhere. You can get some really expensive treatments for these mites, or you can put a little bit of vinegar in their water, and that'll actually help prevent those mites naturally. The actual recommended serving is like 2 tablespoons for a 5-gallon bucket of water, but we feed them one of these bowls a little bit at a time, so we just put a capful in there. So my son says the white chicken's in there laying an egg. It must be finished because she's already out. So,
Now,
honey,
yes.
can you think of any other mistakes we made with our first flock of chickens? I talked about spoiling them, feeding them every time we came out. Their space was too big, it was too hard to clean, and how we're avoiding those things this time. Can you think of any other mistakes we made with our chickens?
No, I think you say everything.
I covered it all?
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we wanted to point that stuff out to you, and there is a happy ending to the story for both us and our chickens. Okay, we got rid of our original flock because they became a nuisance. Okay, and we've got a new flock, so we have chickens again. I mean, it's kind of hard to have a homestead if you don't have chickens, get your farm fresh eggs and all this stuff. But here's the good, happy ending of the story for our original flock of chickens. We didn't slaughter them, we didn't put them in a soup pot. We found a lady who has 140 some acres in a neighboring county, who has all kinds of rescue animals and free ranges them. And she took them off our hands for us. So she took, we had a bunch of pullets and a couple cockerels and some grown hens and 1 rooster. I think the total was like 20 some chickens. They are now free ranging on her property full time, and she even has a camel. Yes, there's a woman in Central Virginia with a pet camel. It was a rescue animal and she got it. So there was a happy ending for those chickens, happy ending for us. We're starting over, doing things right with this flock. Not spoiling them. We've reduced the size that we have to clean, and it's going to be a better experience. We'll keep you updated with it as we go along. So please subscribe to our channel, Homesteading Off the Grid, and make sure to check back for more videos. You guys say goodbye.